Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Comics Experiment, the podcast that we've been doing for way too long. It's located on all of your podcast apps and right here at the Comicstorian Podcast Network at twitch.tv/Comicstorian. And you can also find it on YouTube at Comicstorian. We get together and just have a lot of fun looking at lists on the internet and basically making fun of them or agreeing with them, making up our own lists, or just having some goofy talks about the world of comic books. Today's episode is brought to you by two sponsors, or there might be a third. I don't know, but I know there's two.
Just two.
G Fuel. Use the code COMICS at checkout and get yourself some G Fuel. Great for energy. Right now, I'm drinking the Doctor Strange flavor. Tastes just like Doctor Strange's cape.
Or hydration. Because they've got a hydration formula.
They do. They had the Moon Knight upstairs. I was debating getting that.
I'm going to take the Moon Knight one.
The Moon Knight one?
Yeah. I'm more Moon Knight than you.
Yeah.
And don't forget to check out our other sponsor, Shortboxed.com, a great app that allows you to get your hands on some collectible versions of the comic books. SLAD version, CGC, whatever you want to do. Definitely use that and don't lose $100 like I did on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Did you hear this
I didn't hear the story. No.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
Okay, so this is before we signed the deal with Shortbox. We were doing all this turtle stuff recently, and I was like, I wonder what a #1 issue of Turtles goes for.
Like original?
Yeah.
Okay.
Original, slabbed, just out of curiosity. I wasn't intending to buy it, and it came up at $1,500 to $2,000. So I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I'm not buying that.
Sure, yeah.
But while looking, I found one that was listed as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1 Shattered. Okay. And it showed a picture of the CGC.
Okay.
So I'm assuming it's a shattered box on the CGC. Maybe they broke the corner and they're just trying to get rid of it.
I see. Okay.
So I get the book.
I assume there was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series called Shattered.
Yeah, basically. But
Yeah, okay.
The book comes into the house. I get the thing, and I'm like, well, this case doesn't look broken.
Right.
And if you look at the labeling, it tells you the exactly what it is and why it's worth what it is.
Okay.
It's the shattered variant.
Okay.
Which is a reprint from 5 years ago of Turtles #1.
So you spent $100 on a reprint? Yeah. How much is it worth?
It actually is worth about
$100.
It's about $100. It's worth about $100.
This is the first time it's ever sold.
They were like, oh crap, we finally sold one.
It's they did a reprint where they did like a mosaic looking shattered thing in the cover. But
that's pretty funny.
But if you want to avoid situations like that, check out shortbox.com and you'll know what you're getting.
Why didn't you just look it up? Like Google it.
Because it was
Did you really think he was going to do
that's
that?
a good point.
If it's under $250, it's just
well, hold on.
let's try it out.
But hold on. If you saw issue #1 graded at 9.8 and all it said was shattered,
I would at least look up and make sure there wasn't a mini series called Shattered.
My
no,
thought
they
would be-
showed the cover. The cover.
No, I understand that.
But
My thought would be, oh, it's $100. You know what? Let's see what Shattered is defined as when it's a CGC. Because maybe that's going to fully nullify and like null and void the...
In my head, what I thought was, I'm going to get a broken CGC.
Right.
Maybe. And if the comic isn't damaged, I'll re-slab it for another $150 and make profit.
You should re-slab it for $150.
just to do it.
How much did you spend on this comic? It's worth $100. About $250. Give or take.
Then I rechecked it. It was $25 value.
But yeah, I really should have used the app from the new sponsor. We hadn't actually fully set everything up yet, and I just went to eBay.
Just now, what you should do is you should just find every single one, buy them all, create a monopoly on
I
them.
have all of the shattered variants.
Yes.
That's how you do it. You've got all 3 of them.
There's probably more.
A couple of weeks ago, by the time most of you are watching this, we did a show called "The Most Disturbing Moments in DC Comics." This week, we're going to be looking at a requested one, the most disturbing moments in Marvel Comics.
Oh, man.
Which I think is more disturbing than DC, because I actually knew most of these.
That's the disturbing part, is you knew them.
I think they
Why
get
would
around
they be
more, because in
more-
DC, I didn't know them as well.
But you were always a Marvel fan growing up.
No, I was a DC fan when I was growing up.
No, you weren't. You were an X-Men and Spider-Man fan.
I never read
was
X-Men.
a Batman and Superman.
And I never liked Spider-Man until after Tobey Maguire's movie.
Okay.
No, I didn't. I read Spider-Man 2099. I did read that.
Okay.
He read them out of spite because you read the DC.
I definitely never read X-Men, though. I have always hated X-Men.
Okay.
Tried to get back in for Jonathan Hickman, and he abandoned me. Finally got me to read X-Men.
I don't know. I
Spider-Man
won't
X-Men
lie. Of either of your memories as kids, I think I'm going to trust with Andy's a little more.
I never liked X-Men. I've never liked the
When we
X-Men.
were growing up, you always read X-Men,
I don't
Spider-Man.
know.
Spider-Man
Never liked
mostly, but X-Men.
I read Spider-Man 2099. I did buy that. I did a lot of the 2099 stuff because they were
I'm gonna wait
edgy.
for him to go. You never had 29.
No, he did. He did have 29. I'll give him that one. He says he only started reading Spider-Man after Tobey Maguire movie, which came out in 2009. But I remember distinctly him getting...
Oh, 2009.
I'm sorry, 2001.
I was gonna say, I was
2001.
like,
But I remember distinctly him getting all the Clone Saga crap, which came out in the 90s.
I'll give him that. And I did get the Clone Saga.
It's like,
crap.
all right, I never read Spider-Man.
No, but hold on,
He's
hold
like,
on.
for all the 2099 and the Clone Saga.
Hold on.
Ben Reilly stuff.
I tried to get into Spider-Man with the Clone Saga, and that just killed Spider-Man for me. It was one of the movies. If one of the movies came out, and I said, I'll go check out current Spider-Man, which was in the Dan Slott run.
Tobey
So after
Maguire,
2009.
according to
Yeah,
him.
it would...
2001.
What, that must have been
2002.
Amazing Spider-Man then. Maybe Spider-Man 1.
Growing up, you always read X-Men and Spider-Man.
I never read X-Men.
You know
I can tell you
what?
that.
So
That
one
one
of-
I will fight to the death because I
one
hate
of
the
you
X-Men.
text your dad. I
Did
want
I
to
have
know.
any X-Men books?
I
He
want to
won't
know.
pay attention. He doesn't know.
I remember getting 2099 Clone Saga and Nightfall were the ones that I was collecting.
Okay.
That's what I remember. Why are we arguing?
I just like how even Dan's like, I'm going to have to go with Andy on
No,
this.
why you gotta go with
And
Andy?
didn't
I
know
mean-
you as a kid.
Well, it's because of the same fact of my brother knows dates in a like weirdly specific, knows everything sort of way. So if he told me that I liked something, I'd be like, okay, you probably know better than I do.
No, but
And
I-
based on your guys' memory of you as kids, he sounds like it's a little more clear memory.
I was adamantly against the X-Men though, up until because I fought tooth and nail even on the weekly poll and stuff, up until Jonathan Hickman and Sal convinced me to read it, and I'm like, this is getting pretty good. This is where are we going? This is great. And
Nobody knows.
Yeah, so I kept asking, where are we
Hickman
going?
left.
Where are we going?
took all his
where,
notes with him.
Where are we going? We're having a Hellfire Gala. Jonathan Hickman's leaving. What the fuck?
They walked into his office. There was a big like bonfire. He's throwing all his nets. Hickman, what are you doing? Leaving.
Good luck, bitches.
I did collect
And out the
Wolverine.
window.
I did like Wolverine, so maybe you just associated X-Men. But I never count Wolverine as an X-Men.
No, you're right. You're
Wolverine is not an X-Men.
You're right.
Because he's
and
an
I'm wrong.
X-Man, or an Avenger, a West Coast Avenger, Defender, X-Force.
I consider him X-Men.
Do you?
Yes, mostly because when I first think of him, I think 90s cartoon.
I've never really considered him an X-Man because, like, even when they do the X-Men events, it's like, has anyone seen Logan?
We had 12 X-Men movies that were all centered on Wolverine.
Yeah, but they were just Wolverine with side, the supporting cast was
Other mutants as well.
Another, I believe they were part of the X-Men group.
That's what I'm saying.
How many Wolverine movies have
Do you
you
know what
seen
the-
where Captain America shows up?
Do you know what the best
Although
part
that
about
would
the
be awesome,
about the
right?
Wolverine X-Men movies, which are just Wolverine movies, when they finally made a Wolverine movie, Origins, it was terrible.
It was really bad.
I-
But then the next one was really good.
Yeah.
And
You
know
the
what?
following one was really
I
good.
won't lie, I actually kind of enjoyed Origins.
Origins was terrible.
This is why we never
alright.
ask you to watch movies anymore.
This is why we never asked you to watch movies. By the way, you have to watch every movie and review it for the channel.
Origins was so
To be
bad.
fair,
I had
though-
to retcon it out of the movies.
To be fair,
Using
one,
time travel.
to be fair though, at
And
the time
Deadpool.
I knew like nothing about the X-Men, so that was kind of like my
I mean, as far as like a cheesy action movie, it's not bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't look at it and go necessarily, oh, it's
Yeah.
superheroes. It's more of a, oh, it's. I always think of the Sabretooth grabbing Nightcrawler's spine as he's teleporting.
I
Like,
did.
That's actually pretty cool.
What is his name?
The weird, terrible Gambit.
Schreiber. He was actually really good.
Yeah.
Sabretooth, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The Gambit scene with Channing Tatum that apparently scarred him for life.
It was not Channing Tatum.
Yeah, I was gonna
Who
say.
was it?
Channing Tatum is very sad that his
Apparently
Gambit
can't
movie
be a
got.
Gambit.
I thought he was the
canceled.
Gambit in the movie, though. Who was that?
It was Tyler Taylor something or other.
Oh, okay.
He played John Carter in that John Carter.
Oh, right.
I
Okay.
have no idea what I'm talking about.
No, I know John Carter. I didn't watch it at all. I could say, I'm not going to try and do that, but I know the John Carter movie.
It's like I watched it when I was a kid, and I didn't read X-Men. Goddamn
I
it!
didn't read. I read
Or
Wolverine.
Spider-Man. I never liked Spider-Man. All right, I did on Clone Saga.
I forgot. Okay, in my defense, though,
99.
Clone Saga scarred me, so I just
Okay.
forgot all about that thing.
And that line, the forgot about, is why I trust.
No, I chose to block that out.
Anyway,
All right, let's
what's our
go into this
about?
list. Yeah, let's.
We
Anyways,
should have a list of top 10 things Ben does not remember about his own childhood. Just be me
That
and
would
Dad
be
trying
great.
to explain what happened to
I
him.
like it. I like it.
Where's like a black up here? Leave me alone, all right?
The first 27 years of my life just blacked out.
I don't like you guys anymore. All right, so number 10 on this list. I think it's a 10 list, whatever. We're going to count to 10 and see if it goes to 10.
What website is this for?
Looper.
Looper? I don't know who wrote that list, but that man is an idiot.
Don't worry.
Person, I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
That person is an idiot.
Don't worry. When we did the filler show with Sal,
Yes.
where, for the record, it's hilarious because I called Sal the Spider-Man
I
expert.
also find Sal hilarious.
Yeah,
yes.
but I called him the Spider-Man expert, and he denied that, and then he
He
managed
was like,
to...
I never read Spider-Man. I didn't like X-Men either.
He likes both of them. He guessed every Spider-Man before he finished explaining who it was.
He's like, the best though was when he goes, okay, you're definitely not going to get this. It was a Spider-Man that used guns. Oh, Italian Spider-Man? What the hell?
Also, a little stereotypical.
Apparently that's what he's actually called though.
Italian
like
Spider-Man?
how
Yeah.
he's referred to.
I would have assumed that would be like the Rocky Spider-Man, like the boxer, like the Italian stallion. Italian Spider-Man.
But if you're watching this live or on Spotify, that episode aired last week. But in that, when I started the list, Dan said, without Andy, I'll fill it in. I don't know who wrote this list, but they're an idiot.
I got you.
So the first one, I think everyone has heard about, especially when Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch became a big deal.
This is when they banged.
He's going to be the Sal of this episode. So if you don't know, in the alternate universe, they are also brother and sister, and they very heavily
Banged.
Oh, you gotta say the title.
twincest in Ultimates
Yep.
3.
Yep.
It was
Now they don't show it.
Yeah, they very heavily imply.
They usually were hanging off each other though, which was like, oh yeah, no, we were there. It's fine.
The writer was like, I really wanted Luke and Leia to bang, so I'm gonna
make it even worse. People don't talk about this too often. They just talk about how the fact that Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver banged in the comic. Wolverine spied on it.
Yes, that's true.
Well, another reason I like Wolverine. He's always there.
He's real big into the step sibling part of Pornhub.
Step, bro, I'm stuck. Anyway. This panel here is that their love is spurned by their father. Desperate for his mother, Pietro found love in Wanda.
That's not
a
where you
kind of
find-
love that no one in this room
goddammit.
that no one in this room can understand. And as it says, no one in this room can understand. It shows Wolverine peeking between bushes, like,
But just visibly confused because he can't understand
Oh
it.
my god.
But he can't understand it. He's visibly confused.
what is going on in front of me?
I don't understand.
How is this happening? What is going on?
Hold on, what year was that? Because I'm curious how close to
That would have been
Luke and
Ultimate,
Leia.
so around
mid
2000 to 2010.
Yeah,
Somewhere in there.
mid 2000s-ish.
Because Ultimates was what, 2000 to 2010, and then they wrapped up the whole line.
Yeah, roughly.
Well, until Secret Wars, it went up to. But they started
it was
shutting
in
down
like
books.
early to mid 2000s though.
Yeah, because around after 2010, they started shutting them down, and it was mostly just Spider-Man at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already know one of the
Brendan
things
Reed.
that. Speaking of Ultimates, I already know one of the things that's going to be on this list.
Okay.
So
blob.
I like the writer put in here. The rest of the story arc is just as strange, even by Ultimate standards. Somebody leaks a sex tape of Tony Stark and Black Widow. Ultron 3D prints clones of the Ultimates using their DNA, and by the end of it, Magneto believes that both of his incestuous children are dead, and a bunch of loose ends remain.
Is this the lead into Ultimatum? Is this after?
Yeah, I think it's the lead-in.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why.
And the writer stated in an interview, the Ultimates is great because you can blow stuff up and leave it that way.
Also have
true,
twincest, and no one cares.
I mean, the start of the Ultimate Universe was pretty solid. It was very much a product of its time, and then it started getting.
It was basically the idea of the New 52, but they kept the main line alongside it as opposed to the New 52. They restarted everything.
I mean, there was some cool moments. It had a very cinematic feel. It's just
Plus,
it's
we
very
got
dated
Miles.
at this point.
Well, I actually wonder why we haven't gotten another thing like the Ultimates from Marvel.
Because
though.
of twincest.
Because the fact is, Ultimates was great because even Marvel recognized it's difficult to jump into Marvel.
Yeah.
So the idea was, why don't we start a line that starts it all over? So you can jump in on Ultimates, but as 10 years went on, Ultimates became as convoluted as the
thing.
regular
Yeah.
line. So, like, I'm curious why they've never
And
considered
now
doing
if you
it
go
again.
back and like read it, any of it, they make a lot of like early 2000s references.
Oh, I bet.
So it's like they talk about celebrities, and it's very much a product of its time.
Andy and I were talking about one point, Andy doing like the full Ultimate Saga, which is like the full thing going on over there.
12 years of comics, one episode.
Give me that in a 60-second short.
12 years of comics. It got cray cray,
And those two banged.
and
And Wolverine watched. Fun fact, in that universe, the mutants are also not mutants. They're super soldiers. Products.
Yes, based off of Wolverine.
Yeah.
They decided this and then never talked about it again. I think they brought it up once.
Yeah.
One other time afterwards. I think it was when they killed Magneto off. Because they were like, mutants aren't even a thing. Aha!
What I also love about the Ultimate Universe is we got Miles, and then they tried to work over Wolverine's other son, Hudson, or whatever.
Oh, yeah, nobody liked that
James
kid.
Hudson.
Yeah, nobody liked that kid.
James.
Like, they just tried to incorporate him, and it's like, Wolverine has enough kids that we don't know what you're doing with.
Nobody liked James Hudson.
Next up, we have one that is always on every one of these lists, The Deaths in Ultimatum.
Yep.
There's the it's the one
you're talking about where he
blob
bites the
eating
The
wasp.
Blob eats Wasp. Yeah.
That was probably the worst, but there was a lot of really bad ones on that.
Mostly because that one they like really show him just tearing her apart.
Well, also, this is also like, I don't think they were monitoring comics as badly at this time.
clearly not.
Yeah. I think they're just kind of letting it out, whatever they wanted.
I thought it's really funny though that they were like, oh God, our Ultimate Universe is getting just as convoluted. Oh, what can we do? Wait a minute. We can murder everyone and start over.
And that was the idea.
We can't do that in normal comics.
And they did it.
People will get pissed.
So here's what happened. Magneto flips the magnetic poles on the Earth.
As you do.
He then fiddles with the Earth's axis, and his dastardly plan becomes inconsistent between issues, but okay, results are the same. Bad weather, tidal waves, and deaths of millions of people. In other parts of the story, Blob devours Janet Van Dyne's innards. Dr. Hank Pym, in his giant form, chomps on Blob's head for revenge. Captain America ends up on life support. Thor trades his life and soul for Valkyries in the land of the dead.
Yep.
And Magneto uses Iron Man and Cyclops' powers to obliterate Wolverine.
Yep.
Magneto also talks about mind rape until Cyclops blows his own head off, blows up Magneto's head off with his eye beam.
So how does he blow off his own head?
Cyclops is like, oh my God, don't tell me anymore.
I will look inward. You could do that, right? Hold on. Is it working?
He's
not
like,
working.
let me test it out. Oh, I shouldn't have tested.
Now I got a headache.
But yeah, that's basically, and then they end up killing a bunch of other people without even putting up a fight. They just murder them.
Nice.
It's just easier to deal with your heroes if you cut out half of them.
I mean, that's how they fixed the mutant problem. Well, we have way too many mutants. What if we just decimate them?
But they didn't decimate them. They just took away their powers.
But they got
That, and then they were like,
but they left
genocide? Genocide.
Well, what I liked is they took away their
genocide.
powers, and they're like, right, but we still need the famous ones. So they've all got their powers.
Yeah,
We'll take it away from like two of them, so it doesn't feel like we picked favorites. Though.
Yeah, convenient how that worked out.
Jubilee will be one of those. We don't use her anyway.
Nobody cares.
Now she's a vampire.
That's right. Yeah, all right, she's mutant again.
Oh man, the vampire thing was done. What do we do with this? Oh, we can bring in Morbin time.
It's Morbin time. There's your crossover movie. Vampire Jubilee.
She just jumps in. It's Morbin time.
She's still wearing the bright yellow jacket for some reason.
I'm just waiting for when the Blade movie comes out. Someone's gonna say it's Morbin time or
Yeah, they
something,
need
or
to.
be
That
like in the
clip has
middle
already
of it.
been made from old Blade movies.
Oh, I know that. I'm sure they've made fan ones. I'm saying they're going to put it in the official one.
Because people are like, I don't even know if that's actually in the movie. Like, you see it everywhere.
There is right now going around an attempt to get them to release it a third time with a petition that states, we were all busy that day. Can you put it back in the theaters? And the petition has like 1 million signatures.
If they do it, it's going to be the ultimate, guys.
Come on.
God, like, come on. You should have learned the first time, but the second time.
All right, next one I actually don't know anything about. It's the only one on this list that I don't recognize. The Legion of Monsters kills their one chance at not being monsters. So apparently in 1976, the Legion of Monsters united against a Christ-like figure on a golden horse, Starseed. So this is Ghost Rider, Man-Thing, Morbius...
It's me, Dracula. Would you like to beat up Jesus?
Yeah,
We'll get Wolfman too.
So apparently this Jesus character creates a holy mountain in the middle of Los Angeles, and it brings
Well,
out...
if you're gonna put it anywhere,
And it brings out Ghost Rider, Man-Thing, Morbius the Living Vampire for Morbing Time, and Werewolf by Night. And Werewolf by Night to investigate the event separately, and they end up meeting Starseed. While Ghost Rider tries to protect Starseed, the other monsters attack. Wounded by Man-Thing's incinerating touch, Starseed turns them back into humans. The changes are short-lived, showing that serving only to show the monsters what life would have been like if they had not attacked him. Then Starseed dies and all 4 of them regress to their monstrous forms, now knowing that they killed their only chance at living like normal humans.
Oh man, next time we shouldn't kill Jesus.
Well, live and learn.
I'm just picturing Dracula. Jesus has appeared. You want to go help me kill him?
I got a bone to pick with that son of a bitch. Let's go.
Morbius, it's more than time. Let's go.
1, 2.
Next up, we got Carnage uses a power drill to kill his foster parents' dog.
I mean,
What? Why do you want to see
Well,
that?
because I want to keep seeing the panels. Because I don't know a lot of these, so I want to see how horrific it actually was.
I think this is a good one from an older time period of Carnage, 2022. I guess it's just
I mean, now if he told me he killed a dog, I'd be like,
that's Carnage.
I mean,
That's-
what is it? It was a Tuesday.
Well, honestly, that's why I wanted to see it. Because I'm like, that's actually pretty tame
yeah.
for Carnage.
Only one dog?
Yeah.
Interesting.
He murders his grandmother by pushing her down the stairs, and then he goes ahead
Been
and
there.
grabs the dog and kills it with the drill, just to make it suffer. But I mean, that's Carnage, and like everything he's done recently, kind of like just goes with that.
Yeah.
They're like, he killed a lot of people, but then he killed a dog.
And then
that
John
was
Wick
too
stands
far. John Wick.
So this one
Wick versus
also
Carnage.
this one
I
also
would
gets
watch
into a
that
lot of these
or
lists.
watch it.
Marcus rapes Miss Marvel in Avengers 200.
Wait, who?
Okay, so Marcus is the guy's name. The story boils down to. I'm going to read it because Okay, so in Avengers 200.
Is this the
Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the give birth, is that this one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I
She
do
mysteriously
remember
gives birth to a son named Marcus only 3 days after his conception, which she doesn't remember. Marcus ages impossibly quick and reveals himself to be the son of the villainous Immortus, who lives in Limbo. This is where the story gets weird. Lonely in Limbo, but unable to leave his normal form, Marcus abducts Carol Danvers and manipulates her mind to make her think that she liked him, then raped her and impregnated her with his own essence. Then Marcus sent her back to Earth with her memory erased, and she gave birth to Marcus. So at this point, Marcus is both her lover and her son. So...
And then they were like, Ultimates. Ooh.
So for a lot of I know he said the word rape in this one a lot more, but this is literally actually. This isn't like they just said that because it seemed out of place. No, it actually does happen in the comic, and it was just brushed off to give us a new villain in Marvel at the time.
Yeah. Well, it's like when they did the Dr. Light
Yeah,
thing. It's
Yeah.
like they're just kind of like, yeah, that happened. Let's just keep going.
yeah. And this comes back later before she becomes Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
where she's like, "None of you did anything.
Yeah.
You all just let it go."
It's still in continuity because in the most recent or maybe not the most recent, but one of the recent Captain Marvel ones, she's like, "Yeah, I once gave birth to my own rapist."
yeah.
Yeah.
And the person's just like,
You gotta wonder.
It's
though,
like, oh, well, I got over it.
How did that come? Who comes up with that plot point?
I wonder who did come up with Avengers 200.
How long ago was it? It was in like the 80s.
honestly,
or 70s,
that
wasn't
sounds like one of those ones that someone had a nightmare
it?
and was like,
yeah.
it could be a
No,
good story.
The problem is, back in those days, it was just a lot of, I mean, nothing against any of the original writers. We love most of their stories, but a lot of nerds who just weren't accepted by society in any way, shape, or form, and kind of had carte blanche to do whatever they wanted. Because
no one was paying attention.
There was, and this even says, there was no comics code stamp. So it
Yeah,
literally
yeah.
just, I can just see like talking to a buddy, dude, wouldn't it be like wild and crazy if this happened? Let's just put it in a story.
Either that or it was just them going, how much do you think I could get away with?
That could be. It was editor-in-chief was James Shooter at the time. The writer is James Shooter.
There you
I
go.
wonder if I'm going to be able to get this past the editor.
James Shooter, George Perez, Bob Layton, and I can't pronounce that. David Michelini was the ones.
Michelin
George Perez
star.
drew it.
David Michelin star.
This was only like half a minute.
And this came out in, what was the years on this one? 1980. So yeah, before there was any kind of like authority at all to say.
Yeah,
and I think this is actually one of the things that was considered like
the reason why
I
they
think it's
got
one
a
of the things
code,
that was
yeah.
brought into court to be like, we need to give ratings to comics because
No.
Also, Batman and Robin are gay.
And bang!
that was the same time period, wasn't it? That was still
well,
part of
no,
the-
that was in the 50s and 60s.
Okay.
That's what kind of like led into the comics code.
The next one also comes up all the time, and they've never let Hank forget it. Let's see if you two can guess.
He beats his wife.
The one time he slapped her, yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking Hank McCoy.
No, Hank Pym.
Yeah, sorry. I'm thinking Beast. I was like, what did Beast do? Poop in the bed? What happened?
Well, he's
Get
a
into
beast.
the cookies? I don't know. Where? Beast's a nice guy
Not
most
to
of
say
the time.
that he should have done this or anything like
No.
that. Obviously, it's bad.
Wait, hold on.
Because what I find funny about the Hank
Why
Pym
did that
thing-
come to
Because what
mind?
I'm about to say is, I find it hilarious that they keep using this as a plot point.
Oh, I see.
Every
Okay.
time Hank comes up.
Well, and they even did the dark hold for her
Yeah.
because in that one she kills him
Well, it's
for
because,
it.
I mean, if you think about it, that's probably, other than maybe making Ultron, probably one of the worst things Hank Pym has ever done.
And you know, they're like, we
find
can
it funny
bring up
that
the
keeps
death
coming
robot.
up. But like just
Yeah.
looking at the other things on this list that are in main continuity, like the whole Miss Marvel thing.
right. This
Yeah.
one doesn't seem as bad. As
Right, when you
can.
compare, he slapped his wife once.
I mean, it's
to,
not good though. I mean,
Yeah,
And
it's
that's
still
what I was
bad.
clarifying.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah, yeah.
like warranting. Oh, he should have. She saw it coming.
She should have done. No, I mean, it's pretty damn awful. You can't be like, I mean, then you're just arguing degrees. It's like,
Yeah.
well, over here, this person did this, but I mean, he only hit his wife, you know?
If you're wondering why that actually happened, the storyline basically boils down to Hank was going insane. He had made Ultron. He was going through,
Right, yes.
I think he was on his fourth superhero identity.
Something like that.
She interrupted him while he was doing something, and he was just like, "Get out of here!" Blah!
Well, then they made it even worse in the Ultimate Universe, because in the Ultimate Universe, he was just kind of a dick.
Oh yeah, well he was a dick. Like in here,
And
he
like
wasn't
just
a
felt like he felt like a useless member of the team, and she was like,
Well, I
"No,
mean-
you're fine. Don't worry about it. You're great." And then he hit her.
Yeah. I was like,
Why isn't that on the?
Like,
and this
how
one he was
dare
having a
you
mental
support me?
breakdown is the backstory behind
Yeah,
what's
yeah, yeah.
actually going on.
I mean, but the reason I would say they always bring it up with Hank is, other than the Ultron thing, it's the worst thing he's ever done.
I mean, he's also never really been
and the
that
Ultron
prominent.
thing you can kind of say was an accident.
Yeah.
Like, you can't accidentally hit your wife.
I actually kind of liked when they made him
you know what I'm
Pimtron.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
you did it on purpose.
I kind of like when they made him Pimtron, and then they ran that into the ground hard.
I know, but
Because no one knew what the hell to do with it.
But that's
That's how you said
Alls I'm-
Pimptron for a second.
I'm Pimptron. What's up? But that's what I'm saying.
I just
is
pictured
for-
Bender.
with Hank there. Yeah, exactly. I know, baby. When they bring up the Hank thing, that is because that would probably be the worst thing he's ever done. Unless
Yeah.
they're going to bring it up.
I mean, they got to put him on the list, otherwise you'll forget about him.
Plus, also at the time when this actually happened, that was probably one of the worst things in
comics, yeah.
yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they made it. They made sure you knew that this was a bad thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the Miss Marvel thing where they're like, "Oh, it's a cool plot point.
It's just part of the story. I don't know.
Don't question it."
How did you make that part of the story? Well, he hit her, but when he hit her, she fell and found what they needed to defeat Ultron. Like, no, that doesn't work.
Ow, Hank! By the way, what's this ray gun?
It's the kill switch we needed. And then everybody's like high-fiving him and congratulating him.
So the next one on the list is Straczynski's Spider-Man's Sins Past in One More Day, and this words ruin
God,
everything.
yes. Jesus.
And they've now been
this?
retconned out thanks
Yes,
to Nick
yeah.
Spencer's run.
Yeah.
Which one was that?
So I'm going to explain it because I'm just going to give the full rundown because I only vaguely remember it myself. There's an image of Norman Osborn having sex with Gwen Stacy,
Yes, okay, I
Spider-Man's
remember
first
this one.
love. Second, there's the disturbing lack of respect for 20 years of established continuity. And finally, it's difficult to imagine the turn of real-life events that have taken place at Marvel for such a story to make it to print. Sins Past is one of the worst comics in 2000.
Wait, hold on. Let's go back to the
they're like-
writer doing this. All right. Number one, she was way too young for him. That's not cool. But number two, it totally messes up canon. It's weird what nerds will forgive.
The fact that it doesn't go with canon for the last 20
Yeah,
years.
that's what doesn't make any sense. Now, if they had made it part of the canon that would work, I could be okay with it.
Like if they retconned it and maybe she'd been dating him off and on for 20 years.
Like maybe she was into older dudes.
All right, so anyway, this is that classic storyline in which,
Classic.
well, because it always gets brought up as like, let's forget that happened. Because she also had 2 kids with Norman Osborn.
Yes,
Which
and then
were
they brought it up
clones.
again.
It was fine.
Well, they
brought it up
retconned it being
recently.
clones of Harry, weren't they? Clones of Harry, I think, at the end.
I don't remember, but they used it in this most recent
Yeah.
one with Kindred.
Yeah, no, that's how they retconned it out.
They technically fixed it so
Yeah.
they weren't. Her and Norman didn't actually sleep together. It was like a whole thing to mess with, which Norman's got some deep-seated issues.
Yeah,
Let's
but
clear
he's
up.
right.
I mean,
that was the retcon
Other
that
than the Green Goblin.
the retcon is that it never happened, and that these are
Right.
clones, and that these are memories implanted by Harry into his father.
And Mysterio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mysterio was there for some reason, doing
To make
therapy
this
with Mary
weird,
Jane.
convoluted plot better, we've made it more convoluted.
Welcome to Marvel.
I
We're
actually
gonna
liked
fix your gunshot wound with a bullet.
Nick Spencer's run.
Gotta pry
At
that
the
knife
end
out
of
with a
all of it,
second
though.
knife.
At the end of all of it, though, I just found it weird that Nick Spencer decided to take 90-something issues
Yes.
and spend the entire time retconning something that barely anyone really considered in canon to begin with.
However, is it Boomerang?
Yes.
Boomerang
That was
a
awesome.
great roommate slash
Yes.
That was a great story.
I loved the fact that he was in there.
and little tiny Magog.
Yes.
That was a good one, too. That was one of those ones that I started reading. This is going to be so dumb. Oh!
I got pretty dumb in the middle.
It's like,
So next up, we have Superior Spider-Man's weird obsession with Aunt May.
Yeah, that one was.
So
well, was it Marissa Tomei? Because, I mean,
That's
No,
true. Which
it was
Aunt
not.
May?
This is that period when Dr. Otto Octavius was in the body of Peter Parker, but he still had the hots for
Yeah.
Peter Parker's aunt.
Yeah.
wait, so, but it was Otto then.
But it was Otto in his
yeah.
body.
But
yeah.
it was still in Peter's body.
Yeah, but I mean, at least it's not Peter wanting it.
That's true. I mean, I'll give you that at least. I feel
It's
it's
still-
a weird workaway around for that Pornhub section.
Well, I mean,
though.
it's still very weird, but at least if it was Peter in Otto's body, I would
Yeah.
consider that weirder than Otto in Peter's body.
That is true.
That would be weirder. Yeah.
Yes. Peter and Otto.
So continue.
I don't know why my body are having these urges. So no.
Next up, I've never read this one. I guess we didn't get this far into Punisher Max when I was reading it. So during the Garth Ennis run, Punisher decides to kill...
Well, it's Garth. I can stop you right there. It's Garth Ennis.
during the Garth Ennis run of the book,
Should be on this book or this list.
Punisher rolled over Wolverine. It first blew off his entire face. We had no flesh on it.
Yes, I do remember that.
Shot him multiple
Okay.
times and then rolled over him and parked it on him, a steamroller.
Yeah. Oh, how else are you gonna take down Wolverine?
I mean, it's strategy.
honestly.
I mean, you know, I'm surprised the amount of people that have messed with Wolverine that he has not just murdered the Marvel Universe.
I'm surprised there isn't a Wolverine versus the Marvel Universe book yet.
Well, he took out all of the X-Men in the Old Man Logan
on
book.
purpose, though.
Oh, that's true.
The only closest we ever got was Enemy of the State.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah, they tried to do an in-canon version, which you can't do because you can't kill the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
It's true, unless it's an alternate universe.
But yeah, the problem with it is that he parked it on him. So Wolverine's trying to constantly heal, but he's got a steamroller parked on him.
This probably really hurts.
So he's just suffering.
I mean, Deadpool had a better plan. With the poison that detects when they start healing and just disintegrates them with acid.
That was crazy. Deadpool had so many good ideas.
Is that
in
on
the-
this list?
No, I don't think it is. Next up, we got Charlie Ronald sacrificing a cat.
Who?
I don't know.
Charlie Ronald sounds like a serial killer.
It's from X Factor, so it makes sense that none
Also-
of us would know it. Mr. Whisker's unnatural death ranks amongst the most foul moments in Marvel Comics. As an adult, Charlie Ronald goes to strike a deal with Clute, a devil figure, and transforms into a monster named Charon. But as a kid, little Charlie uses a knife to kill his foster parents' cat, Mr. Whiskers, and strings him up, hanging him from a tree. The specificity of his childhood crime, the care that he takes to carve up the cat and display it for maximum shock value, makes it worse, even when the galactically genocidal romantic acts of Lovestruck makes it worse than Thanos, basically.
I like how the person who wrote this list is like, give birth to your own rapist? Kill a cat. I mean, that's way worse.
I also like that apparently...
at this point, I suppose.
I also like in the last paragraph, they've decided to pull out every stop from the thesaurus.
That's the classic, oh, I gotta reach the word count.
Don't becomes do not.
Yeah, to remove all contractions and
Let me see if I can say that. Okay.
thesaurus.
The specificity of his childhood crime, the care that he takes to carve up his kill and display it for maximum shock value, makes it worse than even the galactically genocidal romantic acts of a love-struck Thanos.
He wanted to bang death, if you were curious.
This 100% is hitting a word count. This is, Looper was like, we need this many words.
He's like, bro, I got you. Don't even worry.
Thanos kills a soldier and extinguishes all half-life in the universe without malice. Okay, so it's just Charlie Ronald, whoever this is, killed a cat.
I don't even know who Charlie Ronald
Yeah,
is.
that-
Yeah.
Let me click this link. Maybe it'll tell me. Charlie Ronalds. Oh, that didn't help at all.
Ben just went to a thing that asked him if he wanted to have a bigger penis.
No, but there he is. Dan can put this on the screen right now just to make this editing job more fun for him.
Well, now I just see nope.
Yeah.
Only in theaters. March 20 or June 22nd. I don't know.
Some X Factor villain.
Sharon.
God damn.
Damn it, Sharon.
God damn shit. I have become the great demon known as Karen.
And that is the worst acts of Marvel.
That was what they considered the worst.
Yeah,
I mean, there was some pretty bad
Was
ones in
an
there.
abnormal, someone that no one knows about killing a cat? Okay. I'm surprised that the one that I'm very, very shocked about. Nothing from Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe was in there.
Yeah.
Or literally a large portion of any of the time that like Deadpool dies, like when in Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, when Susan Storm blows up his head by putting a invisible force field in and exploding it. But that's still a very, very I will agree.
I was going to say, that was pretty bad.
Those all seemed like
those
they
were
were
very-
canon stories.
Some of those I'm surprised were on there.
Some of them just makes me
But-
think that the writer just took a different list, because some of them are just the ones you see all the time. Hank Pym hitting his wife.
Yep.
Miss Marvel getting raped.
Yep.
The Norman Osborn and
Twincest.
Gwen Stacy having sex.
The twin set.
The twincest. Like the ones you see all the time.
That was just a good way to say it.
I want more
The way-
disturbing.
I was going to say, the way you say that makes it sound like you're like, ugh, I'm so over these.
So
I just need some more disturbing things.
I need to read Crossed.
Ooh, no, that's Garth Ennis. Never go full Garth Ennis.
Remember the time that Garth Ennis was given the ability by Marvel to do a storyline about a guy who crash landed on an island of women, and they were beating up his genitalia because he was going to be. It came out during Secret Wars. It was one of those ones that did not tie in at all the Secret
I don't
Wars.
remember that. I generally
It
don't.
stayed a
I don't lean
secret.
into the Garth Ennis.
It
I
looked
find
like
he
a
goes
fun,
for
like-
shock value for the sheer
It was
purpose
shock
of
value, but it came across initially like, oh, this would be like a fun 1950s adventure. Oh, what kind of adventure is he on?
a good one. Sorry.
You okay? You okay, Dan?
No, I was
like
trying
Dan's
to. I was
Weekend.
in my head. I'm like, okay, between the most disturbing Marvel and the most disturbing DC.
I said the DC was better. They were more disturbing?
Okay, I was like, I was
Gonna say we gotta work on the wording.
better. What kind of better are we talking about here? Because
Better in terms of the topic, the most disturbing. What are you guys thinking?
I thought Benny was like, you know what? I much prefer Hal Jordan banging a 13-year-old.
like the inflection of your voice, the facial expression. I found DC's was better. Way more entertaining. Right up my alley.
Oh, so I didn't like Spider-Man.
I'd never read Spider-Man and Wolverine. No one read the X-Men in the 90s.
Everybody read the X-Men in the 90s. That's when everyone read the X-Men. Literally during the Claremont run.
Yeah, they did. I didn't, though. I read Wolverine.
Okay. Whatever you
Anyway,
say,
guys, thanks for
man.
watching today's episode of Comics Experiment. Check out our sponsor, G Fuel. Use the code COMICS at checkout. Get yourself some discount on the G Fuel. Get Moon Knight for hydration formula. It tastes really good. It's all about moonberries.
Yeah.
And then Doctor Strange. I keep saying that it's tangerine. I've been told that it's apparently blood orange. My actual question to you about that is, they're all oranges. They taste the same.
Tangerines technically oranges? I don't think they are.
The navel orange, blood orange, tangerine. They're all in the same wheelhouse. They're orange.
It's like they're all the same color and shape. That means they're the same.
yeah,
In my
Andy.
mind, there's no difference.
He also thinks apples and oranges are the same
Yeah,
thing.
which is a round.
They're both
And a
round,
lime
they're
and a
both
key
fruit.
lime are the exact same.
I mean, yeah.
And don't forget to check out our newest sponsor, Shortboxed. Go ahead and start your CGC collection today by going to the app Shortboxed and getting your hands on some highly graded comic books. Thank you so much, you guys. Continue to support. We'll see you next week with the Comics Experiment. And Andy, say bye.
Bye.